and on our Facebook Live, I'm pretty sure. So I want to say hi to all of you on the playground and say, first of all, yay, celebrating. We got over 2,000 people this week. So excited. Woo woo. So thank you, everyone who's playing on the playground. And please make sure that you absolutely watch the movie of the week, especially given these times we're in, which is Zootopia. All right, so this is Agents of Awakening, and this is Jennifer Hough, and I am with awesomeness, Bonnie McCaffrey, who has been part of our flight school program, I think last year, Bonnie?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and so that was quite a journey, wouldn't you say?
Good time.
So I met Bonnie many, many years ago. Bonnie, it's so funny. It's like flying under the radar. You always knew that you were way more, like you could feel this huge calling, right? You had these really cool projects under the radar, but everyone saw you as a massage therapist, like an amazing massage therapist. But it's sort of like all you could be based on worrying about your son and worrying about your life and worry about your money and worry about your husband and worry about all that kind of stuff. And it was sort of all a distraction from really you, correct, Amundo?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I spent so much time taking care of everybody else that I didn't have time for what was really inside my heart. So.
Right.
Yeah.
And just before we got on, since this is Agents of Awakening, everybody, just to remind you what Agents of Awakening is all about. Agents of Awakening is all about people, like normal people, like you and I, your average, everyday human. But what we are capable of when we let ourselves be us. And the funny thing is, when we build the bridges to be ourselves in the world, we build those bridges and we get to share them out loud so that other people can feel where we were and where we've come to. And, you know, maybe it creates a possibility for you. So Bonnie has quite the story because you're actually Canadian like me, right, Bonnie?
Yeah.
And then you married someone from the US, just like me, yeah?
That's how I got here.
Indeed. So, my love, let me ask you, what would you say? I'm going to say three. What are the three biggest, we'll start with number one though, biggest shifts for you? Like, where were you about life? How were you plugged into life before? And now that you're doing what you're doing, which let's talk about that first before we get to that shift. Tell everybody what you're up to because it's just so freaking cool.
So I have a nonprofit that I've co-founded. The mission is to really bring calm and peace to pediatric patients. We're working with specifically pediatric patients and their families and care providers at Seattle Children's Hospital.
Right. So, and you've thought of this, and I know you probably can't say it fully, but you've thought of this really unique and amazing way to assist children not to be scared, really, and anxious in hospitals, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's because, well, partially, it's because you're all about helping people to de-escalate. That's
right.
What you are. But your partner had a child in the hospital, yeah? And
yeah. He had, his little guy was 4 years old and was diagnosed with leukemia. Mm-hmm. And so their journey was just amazing. And my partner, Jeff, just learned things on the fly. He was just, you know, in the moment needing answers, and he just found them as he went. And really, the answers really lay in finding that calm and teaching it to his little 4-year-old, and it was amazing what they were able to transcend and the journey that they went through. And it's all documented by the staff, and it's really exciting. It's going to be published in a medical journal shortly. So
that's so exciting.
yeah.
It's a really unique idea though, but we're not going to say anything yet, you guys.
No.
A beautiful, incredible idea. So to get to the place, and now you're teaching it, you're teaching at spiritual centers, and you're doing all sorts of stuff that really it makes you want to get up in the morning, huh? I bet.
Oh yeah. This is I think I felt as a massage therapist, I got tired of being the Band-Aid for people's stress, and I just knew that, I had to find the place myself where I could find the answers inside myself, and I didn't need to. Massage is lovely. I will always love massage.
And you are incredible at it, having experienced that. So let's not diminish your cosmic abilities. Holy crap.
All right. But in general, the problem wasn't, a deficiency in massage. It was deeper than that. So that's where I really wanted to go and empower myself and others to manage their own stress and just de-escalate and get to that place of calm.
Yes, but I know you.
I
know you. And so it's been you have been a champion of yourself, dude. Really, because even what is it, 2.5 years ago was maybe before your flight school, is that about right?
Yeah.
About that. So let's say 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, there were ways of being that were in your way. Yeah.
For sure.
So tell us about, because I know people are going to relate to this. You're not alone in these ways of being. But what was the biggie, do you think?
I think I definitely took on an identity of carrying others in every aspect of my life, really. My personal life, family, work. That was my job, was to care for everybody else.
Yeah, and what did that look like with your husband, with your child, with your house? What would that look like? What would you swap out? I wouldn't do this, so I would do this.
I guess I would sacrifice my own time and my own self in order to take care of finances, take care, my significant other was severely, sometimes unemployed, definitely underemployed. And I just took on this Herculean task of raising an enormous family by myself, and then rushing home and cooking dinner. And and I think what I told myself is, when I saw things move to a place where it wasn't looking good, he wasn't providing. And I know I got this from my dad, but it was the thought that popped in was, well, someone's got to do it, so I guess it's me. And I just stepped in and took it on until I almost burned out completely.
P.S. Yeah, and there were times where you didn't want to get out of bed, right? It's just it's exhausting. So by the way, I already know, I'm not even looking at the comments, and I can tell you you're getting a whole bunch of amens. So, and then also even before we got on, we were talking about this other thing, even for you and I, there's you trying to find a picture of yourself, or all these things related to, I don't know if it's about being seen, Bonnie. There's a the fear is not about being seen. The fear is about what's going to happen if you get seen, right? So what's that all about?
What do you who I am
Yeah.
is so vastly different than the norm. It's like I have the, I guess, superpowers, knowledge that is so, I mean, probably I would have been burned at the stake in another lifetime, right? um, yeah, I guess it's just flying my freak flag is, owning who I am. I don't, I guess I've tried to fit in and I don't, I just fit out.
Yeah. Yeah. And so
So being comfortable with that.
yeah, yeah. And the thing is like, you know me, one of my favorite things that I've ever sort of heard consciousness say, that I just laughed when I heard it come out of my mouth. I'm like, oh my God, that's so funny. Like either you're going to be, so here's the thing. Everyone is judging you whether you don't be yourself or do
Right.
be yourself. So you might as well have one of you be happy. Right? So, so it's like that's, you made that your choice. So now what happened to where did the carrying go during this journey that, you know?
It's yeah, it's actually it's getting a much easier, much easier where to the point where you know what, one of the biggest things that helped was your wisdom and just that description of having our little telomeres on the end of our cells be like satellite dishes. And they were looking out into the world and I was getting all of my information and all of my validation, all of my guidance from out there somewhere. But when I turned them in, yeah, I really found, I came home to myself and the magic that's actually inside of me. So I'm still excavating it. Well, no, just getting deeper and deeper, inside.
Yeah. Yeah. And so the thing is about flying that freak flag, it's not even about, it's like, I feel like what calls us when we finally get to that point where it's like, I'm done, like, I'm over it. And that's almost the point people reach before they get to flight school, right? It's like, I don't want to talk about my past anymore. I just want to get on with getting on with this feeling of being called, right? And so one of the things that in having a conversation with you is that is that you're courageous enough to let that dream you and have that dream or that feeling of like be more important than the fear of being burnt at the stake.
Right.
And so what switched to have you do that? I'm sure lots of people are interested. Like what changed inside of you? What did you realize or what did you hear that made you like switch that?
Um, I mean, it was really a choice of choosing where I want to go, where I could see what was calling me. My essence, my soul was calling me in a direction, and it was okay. Are you going to answer? Or are you going to let these little voices in your head run the show? And so it's really a choice, and I even those voices still come up,
Yeah.
and it's a moment by moment choice. Like, no, this is not where I choose to be, and just going in my imagination into that future that I see as
Yeah.
possible, and
Yeah,
then lighting up and lining my energy up with that instead of
exactly.
the fears and where my ego would have me afraid all of these terrible things might happen if I actually go there.
So let me ask you right now, are you afraid to be in this interview at all? Like, was there any fear about doing the interview?
Mm-mm. No.
Really?
Mm-mm.
So that's a huge leap, Bonnie. Like like I would have thought given burnt at the stake, here we are talking about you and your freak flag and all that stuff, and it doesn't scare you. How cool is that?
Yeah, it's surprising. Although I have to admit that I think that you know, my higher levels were probably had a little hand in that, because I mean, I knew it was, I don't know, I knew it was coming, but in the email, I didn't scroll down and see all the questions. I just saw
Yeah.
the link. And so I think if I got the details of it, I might have been a little bit more.
So maybe just so you guys know, in Ages of Awakening, we send everybody a kind of link. Send us our bio, send us your this and that, answer these questions so we know a little bit more about you. Fortunately, I already know Bonnie. So there wasn't, she probably couldn't have said too much that would have shocked me. Although, I'm open to that. That's fun. At the same time, it's like, so when we send out those questions, that piece of you that doesn't want to be seen, isn't it cool? Maybe that absolutely happened for you instead of to you.
Totally happened for me.
Right? So cool. So Bonnie, what I want to say is, like, I know that people are going to hear this interview and they're going to go, yep, that's me. Yep, done that. And my favorite thing that you just shared, which I can so recognize, kind of like just having the privilege of being a witness to your journey, or at least, a chunk of your journey, is how incredibly powerful it is to understand that it really is fundamentally a choice. But you have to remind yourself of what you're choosing between, right? Am I choosing between this, or you have to actually have the vision of where you're headed. It's funny, that we got to there because I literally reminded, I had a couple of things happen in the last week that I was like, and then this morning I woke up, I was like, and this morning the first thing I thought is, I got to sit on my front porch, look at the mountains, and then re-embody that future trajectory that we're on. And it was a choice. So I really appreciate you saying that. So everybody, I want to thank you for being here for our regular 9:30 Eastern, and thank you, Bonnie, for getting up so early in the morning. God bless your pointed little head. And making yourself look so beautiful. So 9:30 in the morning every Friday, we're interviewing agents of awakening, and they're people that have really taken a leap to transcend the identities and the egoic yammerings that distract us from being that fulfilled and lit up human being that we get to be. I promise you that nobody we interview is perfect, and the interviewer also is not perfect. I don't even know what perfect is. I'm kind of over that word at this point. We're just all cosmic 3-year-olds curious on the adventure. And instead of looking back, we're moving forward and building bridges. So that's what an agent of awakening is. And they get to be an example of what's possible. So thank you for being an example, Bonnie, today. Are there any last words you want to share?
No, I just so appreciate you, Jen, and all the work that you do. And it's really been a journey that has completely changed my life. So, yeah.
Bonnie, I got to say that, Agents of Awakening isn't so much about, I appreciate that and I receive it fully. But honestly, and I know this sounds totally corny, but what you've done, what other people we've interviewed done is like, it literally is the inspiration and the courage that you have that fuels me. So it is an entirely reciprocal process. It's just, I cannot wait until your idea comes out in the world that we'll have to interview you again and tell people what happened.
Yeah, there's so much to come. It's really...
I'm so excited. I can't wait till you guys find out what Bonnie's doing. We can't say yet, but I can't wait. Okay, so you guys, also, finally, speaking of the work, I don't usually talk about upcoming programs on Agents of Awakening, but I will today. On August 1st, we have Get Out of Your Way to Involve and Embody, and that is exactly where Bonnie's journey started. So we're doing a 1 day, which is unusual. Usually our programs are $555 for Get Out, but we're doing it for $98 for the 1 day. So it's accessible to anyone who wants to come. And we're talking about an evolutionary conversation of embodiment, which we don't usually talk about in Get Out. So come and play, take advantage of it. Come and play, absolutely immerse yourself. And I just want to say to everybody, there isn't anyone that isn't an agent of awakening. If you're on a journey that takes courage, it doesn't matter where you are in the journey, you were somewhere else and you've come to this new place. Even if it's really scary, the places I get called to are really scary for me. Bonnie, aren't they scary for you too?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're scary to the ego. But I'm going to say this as my final word for today. Scary to the ego is very different from the energy that is to your greater self, to your greater wisdom, actually exciting. Your ego misinterprets excitement and inspiration for scary. But the energy and truth and consciousness that your ego is misinterpreting is exhilaration and being thrilled for the future to come. So just understand that. And maybe today your life will be a little bit different just because we shared. And so this is Jennifer Hough for Agents of Awakening. So appreciative to my buddy, Jeannie Zelda, for dreaming up facebook.com/Agents of Awakening, where you can go and share stories of other people that are doing extraordinary things in the world. And I just love all of you guys and send you a big hug. Oh, we'll put the link to Get Out of Your Own Way. It's thewideawakening.com/evolve. Okay. You can go there and register, and I love you guys. And thank you, Bonnie, so much. I love you so madly, girlfriend.
All right, back at you, sister.
Mwah, mwah, mwah. Okay, you guys, have a great rest of your day. Can't wait to hear about your project, Bonnie. We got to give people an update.
Can't wait to share.
Bye, everyone.